Hey everyone. With JLin's most recent injury, there's been an obvious lull in his highlight videos, so in the meantime, I'm going to start making a few videos on JLin's role with Brooklyn's offensive and defensive strategies. Most fans know by now that Nets coach Kenny Atkinson has completely revamped their entire offense, focusing primarily on off-ball movement and getting good looks in the basket. Primarily due to Atkinson's motion offense, the Nets are currently ranked 5th to last in terms of isolation frequency this year, compared to 16th last year in the NBA, implying that with fewer isolation plays, the ball is moving a lot better this year. This video is going to highlight the basics of the Nets motion offense, explore some of these strengths and weaknesses, and then focus on JLin's role within our motion sets. The most basic motion set the Nets like to attack from is what's commonly referred to in the NBA as motion strong, which leads to a lot of off-ball action on the initial strong side of the ball. Although the roles are very loosely defined, for the purposes of explanation, I'm going to refer to specific positions just to point out where players are moving and standing. The idea is for the point guard to swing the ball from the wing to the power forward, who then swings to a small forward on the opposite wing. The point guard and the power forward set a staggered screen for the shooting guard initially camped out in the corner. When the small forward receives the ball, he can look to dump inside if the center has good position, or swing to the shooting guard coming off these staggered screens. In this case, the shooting guards will often be Kilpatrick, Harris, or Bojan Bogdanovic. If there's some space, those guys playing shooting guard will just pull up from 3. If not, this will usually trigger a rescreen from the initial big that set the screen for either screen and roll or pick and pop. In this first play, JLin serves as the point guard, swings to Luis Scola on the outside, and sets a pick for Joe Harris. Joe Harris will come off the JLin screen and then get another screen from Luis Scola. At this point, Scola will have already swung the ball to Hollis Jefferson. Hollis Jefferson will find Harris coming off the staggered screens, and Harris will get a good look, but unfortunately the shot doesn't go down. Same thing this time, except Booker is the power forward. JLin and Booker set staggered screens for Joe Harris. Because defense goes underneath the screen, Joe Harris gets an open look and knocks down the 3. In this next play, JLin serves as the small forward position, and Foy is the point guard. So Foy will pass and swing to Booker. Booker and Foy both will set the staggered screen for Hollis Jefferson. But once Lin catches the ball, he sees Lopez doing a good job sealing his man, and Melo on the weak side can't afford to help because he actually has to worry about Hollis Jefferson rotating around for the double staggered screen. So Lopez ends up getting some good position and an easy bucket inside. In this next play, Harris once again gets the double screen from Luis Scola and JLin, but he catches the ball a little bit too far away from the basket for an easy look, so he has a rescreen set from Scola. At this point, he has a mismatch with the opposing power forward, so he has a dribble handoff with JLin, and Lin is able to take advantage of the mismatch. Sean Kilpatrick is the one coming off a double staggered screen receiving the pass from Bojan, but he doesn't see his man falling down, so he actually can't take advantage of it, potentially an open shot. Now on the rescreen action he's expecting, Brook Lopez actually flares out and he's able to hit an open 3. Now if the defense tries to be a little bit too aggressive by denying the pass around the perimeter for the initial swing, they can always slip the screen with the power forward and get an easy dunk, as you'll see here. Another way the Nets can punish overextending perimeter defense, Kilpatrick on the reset screen finds Ronda Hollis Jefferson, who's being played too tightly by Bellinelli. Jefferson's no three-point threat, so this is actually a mistake, and after Jefferson drives in for an easy dunk, it's partially due to the fact that Kilpatrick and Scola had lulled the defense into the perimeter in the first action. The motion offense doesn't always work to perfection, and in this case we see Bogdanovic coming off the double staggered screen, catching on the rescreen and then actually having a mismatch with Horford. But because Bogdanovic is not the best penetrator, he has a tough time handling the ball and trying to create something against Horford. Now if this were JLin off the double staggered screen, we might be seeing a different story, but we'll see in the future if they want to heavily involve JLin in every single motion play, because he's already involved in the majority of pick and rolls. This is from the Nets' 9th game of the season, and you can see there's still some confusion in how they want to run the motion with a variety of different players. Booker is either out of position here or they're confused on the type of motion they want to run. But the power forward should never be serving as the shooting guard coming off of 2 screens. So in this case, Hollis Jefferson just takes a single screen, and he really should have shot off the initial catch because his defender was sagging behind the screen. But in this case, he's not yet comfortable doing that, so he tries to isolate into a post-up. When the double team comes, he throws a pass clearly intended for a corner target, but Booker is not comfortable camping out at the 3-point line yet, so this results in a turnover. Plays like this will hopefully get patched up as the season goes along and they find the right type of personnel for the right type of positions. To dive a bit deeper into some stats, the last game Jeremy played during the first half against the Pistons at home, the Nets scored 14 points off of 7 motion sets and 13 points off of 8 pick and roll sets when Jeremy was on the floor. During the time when he was off, I counted 2 points off of 3 motion sets and 2 points off of 1 double high pick and roll. Against the Suns most recently without Lin, I counted a roughly 40 to 60 split of set plays between some type of motion and some type of pick and roll. So overall, they're still running more pick and roll that I can see than motion, and motion incorporates pick and roll within its offensive structure. Overall though, I do think that the motion offense is working very well among Nets players, but it'll be up to the coaching staff to put the right players in certain positions during each set based on what the opposing matchup is for that night. So that's basically it for this video. Please like or subscribe if you enjoyed the content and you want to see more of this stuff.